Yes, team, welcome back to the 1010 Performance YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about nutrition for beginners. If you're new to this page, we talk everything health, fitness and performance, and today the topic is nutrition. How we can fuel our performance, how we can make sure that we're focusing on weight management, and how we can use nutrition to our advantage when we're training. We're going to go through all three main macronutrients. We're going to talk about calories in versus calories out, and we'll finish the video with a list of the best sources for each of our main macronutrients. Right, so let's start by talking about calories. Now, this is what's going to determine whether you're in a cutting phase or a gaining phase. And a simple phrase to help us understand that is calories in versus calories out. We've got two examples on the board here. This one on my left hand side, we have got energy out in green, we've got energy in red. Now, energy is just another word for calories. If we burn 2,500 calories, but we only consume 2,300 calories, that puts us in a cutting phase. If we eat less calories than we burn, so let's say we burn 2,000 calories and eat 2,500 calories, then that puts us in a gaining phase. It's a very simple calculation. So anything below your maintenance is going to put you in a deficit. Now, a deficit is what we use as a term when we're in a cutting phase. The more aggressive you go into that deficit, the more you're going to be neglecting nutrients. However, on the other side of that, the more you go above that maintenance number, the more fat storage you're going to hold. In simple theory, the more aggressive you go into either a cutting phase or a gaining phase, the more likely you're going to lose muscle, lose energy, and have poor training performance, which is going to go against you for whatever your goal is. Right, so carbohydrates. We split carbohydrates into sugar and starch. This is going to be our main energy source to help you fuel your performance, whether that's muscle building, performing on the track, or anything within your training system. So the difference between our sugar and starch carbohydrates is how quickly they digest within our body. Sugar digests a lot quicker, which means it's going to be great for pre-workout and post-workout when you need a little bit of energy within the moment, whereas starch carbohydrates are going to be slower digesting. So this is more suited to the morning and midday to save you having any crashes after a boost of energy, and also on those rest days to help you feel fuller for longer and prevent any cravings coming up. The mainstream media paints carbs as the villain, but training with no fuel only leads to injuries and bad relationships with food. So the strategy isn't cutting carbs out, it's being a little bit smarter about how much and when we consume them. Right, moving on swiftly to protein. Now, protein is vital. This is one thing the mainstream media actually gets right. Whether you're trying to get jacked, you're trying to get lean, you're trying to recover for a run or a high rocks, protein is vital. So what a high protein diet does is it promotes muscle repair and recovery, it regulates your blood sugar levels, which reduces cravings, and it keeps you fuller for longer. So you can see how much benefits you get for it if you're going through a weight loss journey. So although we're painting it to be this perfect nutrient, there's two things I want you to just be careful about. So consuming more protein than you need gets stored as fat, just like any nutrient we consume. To avoid this, you want to aim for around 1.8 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight to make sure you're not going over that limit. So the second thing I want you to avoid is having too much protein before your workout. This is a slow digesting nutrient, similar to the topic when we were on the carbohydrates page. It's going to slow down as it digests. It's going to feel a little bit full in your stomach. It's not going to feel great if you're doing anything too dynamic. Your best bet is going to be a sugary based carbohydrate. So to recap on protein, it promotes muscle repair and recovery, it regulates your blood sugar levels, and it also makes you feel fuller for longer. The two things to avoid is having protein too close to your workout and also going over the top of your limit because it can get stored as body fat. Right, now the final topic is fats. Now there's a couple of real key reasons why this is a main macronutrient and your body needs it in large quantities daily. Now the first and probably most important reason your body needs fats in your daily diet is for hormone production and development. Just like protein, fats help satiate you and make you feel fuller for longer, which is really effective when you're going through a weight loss journey. The common mistake we find as fitness professionals when we talk about fats is people think fats equals fat. And that's absolutely not true. Of course, if you have too much fats in your diet, that will be stored as body fat, but cutting it out of your diet totally isn't going to be effective for a weight loss journey. If you're somebody who's tried to cut out fats during your diet whilst you're on a weight loss journey, it's likely that you've had a crash in your energy. You end up having really bad moods day to day. You stop building muscle and you actually just feel pretty manky. So don't be that person who cuts fats out of your diet thinking it's going to improve your physique. Right, now to wrap up the video, we've got a list of options for our protein, for our carbohydrates and for our fats. Now we've split the carbohydrates to have some sugar options at the top and some starch-based options at the bottom. Now a couple of these options have both protein and fats in them, so generally day to day we do get a high amount of nutrients in our diet. Now what's important, and this is where tracking your meals can be effective, is finding out where we're deficient and adding in a couple options here or there. Now I always say to my clients and members to make sure that you have a protein option paired with a carbohydrate option for your main meals, so your lunches and your dinners. And generally we start to subconsciously add our fats in there. So things like olive oil, things like cheese, things like butter, this gets implemented in with our diet. But it's something you want to keep an eye on, and if you are deficient, try and add in a little snack here or there. But that's everything for the video today. Thank you again for tuning in. That is episode 4 of the 10-10 performance lessons. I hope you are enjoying it, so make sure to engage. Drop a like, drop a comment, and any questions that you want me to cover, any topics you want me to go over, just drop it in the comments below and we'll hopefully do a video on it soon. Thanks again team, you know where to find us on Instagram, 1010 performance. We'll catch you in the next one.